Hey everyone. I decided I would just come on and do an impromptu live today. I haven't quite got to the point of doing scheduled lives at this point. I don't know exactly what it is that is stopping me from that. It's not fear, because it's not that I'm afraid to be on camera or anything like that, but I don't know, maybe it has something to do with not wanting to just have a set time every day or every week or whatever to to do this right now. But we'll see how it goes. I'm going to be trying to do it at least once a week, and whether or not it's going to be at the same time every week, we'll have to see. But I think also it's like trying to figure out, well, what am I going to talk about in each live? Because when I do like a recorded post, I think about ahead of time, and I can prepare, and whether it's, creating text content, I can think about it and edit it as I want to. And when I do a recorded video, if I don't like it, I can just delete it, or I can go and edit it to get rid of any like major flubs and stuff. But this is something that I want to try and get better at. I want to work towards doing more lives, because I know that it's going to be more engaging with you guys. It gives you guys the opportunity to ask me questions or engage with me in some way. And that's kind of the whole intention. So, I'm generally not that great at, like I said, talking about things off the cuff. And so this is kind of what I'm doing today. I didn't really have a set plan in mind of what I was going to talk about. And it was kind of obvious that I hadn't done a live in a long time, because I started talking, and then after about 30 seconds or so, I looked down and I was like, oh, I never even actually hit the live button. But so I guess I'll just share a bit about what's been going on for me the past week. I've been doing a lot with this digital marketing program that I am involved in, and it's been something. Well, I mean, being an entrepreneur is, in my opinion, a huge personal growth journey, no matter what kind of business you're doing. But this one in particular, this type of business, I find has been stretching me quite a bit. There's been a lot of stuff that has shown up, and challenges that I have needed to do my best to work through, and even sometimes surrender, because the interesting thing with challenges is that they're not always something that we can get through, that we can get to the other side of, because sometimes they're just out of our control. And so then we have to just decide whether or not we are going to just feel frustrated and angry and resentful and maybe fearful and all of those kinds of emotions when challenges show up, or whether we can sit there and be like, okay, I'm going to accept right where I am and see what happens from there. You know, sometimes it means that we have to shift our perspective. Sometimes it means we have to shift our direction. Sometimes it might mean something different. But I think any challenge that we experience is an opportunity to learn, to grow in some way, to expand. And I think it's in our highest benefit ultimately, although it may not seem like it in the moment. So I'm not sure how long I'm going to be able to do this live for. I came out and I'm sitting at park that I like to go to, which is close to my place, and I find that it's fairly quiet most of the time. Maybe not so much when the daycare comes out and the kids are all playing in the playground, which will happen more probably once school starts up again. But I can feel that it's spitting a little bit right now. You can probably see that the sky is fairly gray behind me, and there was no prediction that there was going to be any kind of rain, but I felt a bit of spitting, so we'll see what happens, how long I will be able to be out here for. But yeah, going back to the challenges, with the business, I have had a variety of things come up. You know, one of the things that is often talked about in our program is the 2-hour workday. And you know, the idea is that you are supposed to be able to do all your income producing activities within 2 hours, and then you have the rest of the day to do whatever else you choose to do, you know, whether it might be other work related stuff or other personal stuff. That is the whole focus. And I believe it's possible, but that has been something that has been a big challenge for me because, for example, doing the social media posts, any of you who might know me somewhat, either meeting in person or following or connecting on social media in some way, that before I started this business, I wasn't doing a lot of social media posts. It's just not something that's natural for me to do. I've never been a big social media person. I don't enjoy scrolling through social media very much. And, you know, if I do go through my feed a little bit, it's usually maximum 10 posts and that's it. So, and I also haven't really shared much about anything personal. So, you know, most of my posts have just been about, you know, latest podcast episode or something that I was involved in that I was sharing about, or maybe I might share somebody else's post if it was something that really spoke to me. So I wasn't overly engaged in social media. So this is something that I am trying to learn. It's like, we're told to keep it simple. We're told to, just keep it simple and engage, like do things that is going to connect with our audience. And but keeping it simple just doesn't seem to be something that I can do very easily. I think I get into my head too much, or I just maybe want to include way too much detail. I want to be able to create value. I want to be able to make what I'm doing engaging, interesting. So this is a process that I've been working through, and so that 2-hour workday is just not quite happening for me quite yet. But I'm going through the training, and I am seeking different ways that I can do this so that I can simplify and create some of my posts ahead of time, so that I don't have to rack my brain every single day every single day trying to figure out what to post about. Doing a live is something I don't have to necessarily pre-plan, but it is something that I still have to have some kind of an idea to talk about. So one of the things that ideas that came to me to help make things a little bit easier was to share a daily win of mine, which has kind of a dual purpose. It helps for me to notice when I am making progress, or being consistent in things. And this could be progress in my business, could be progress in my personal life, spiritual life somehow. And as I've said in my daily win stuff, is that it's not about getting pats on the back, or like woohoo you go, or anything like that, because that's not what I'm looking for. It's more an accountability thing for me, because I could choose to just journal stuff and keep it all private and not share it with anybody. But the thing with journaling is that I have never been a regular journaler, and I've tried doing this in the past, where I've tried to write down my wins for the day every single day, and then it would get postponed, and then it's like, oh, okay, I'll do it I'll do it 2 or 3 days later, and then maybe it'll be a week later, and then eventually it just stops. So that is one of the reasons why I'm doing it, but also I'm hoping that it will help to inspire others to notice the wins in their life more. So it doesn't matter how big it is or how small it is, because sometimes a win could just be you had a great sleep. If it's not something that you've been getting happening a lot, being able to have a great sleep can be a huge win, because it can make such a difference in how your day goes and how you respond to the things that happen in your day. So, there's so many different little things, and it's still a challenge for me to think about what my wins are, and focusing on these little things, because I don't tend to write them down. So then it's like I'm thinking, okay, well, what was my win today, or what was my win yesterday? What happened? And it's still challenging for me to recognize those wins. So so this is a challenge for myself, and hoping that this will be a benefit to others as well. And another thing that had been going on was that part of the process with our digital marketing program is to post free ads in different sites to share about the opportunity. And I was having a lot of issues with that. One of the things that I ended up discovering is that the name that I chose for this digital marketing business ended up not being the best choice. Like, I liked it when I chose it because I resonated with what I felt it was saying, which was soulful wealth, because I don't view wealth as solely monetary. We can have so much other types of wealth and abundance in our life. And that was kind of the focus that I had when I chose that name. But I ended up discovering after the fact that there are certain words that are being associated with scams. So, words like wealth and phrase passive income and other sort of related type terms are being connected with scams. And unfortunately, there are scams out there. And had I been aware of this prior to that, I would have chosen a different name. And that ended up becoming an issue with posting these free ads, because I thought, oh, you know what? I've been using my Gmail address on these ads. I'm going to switch it to my professional email address that I have associated with my domain name, because I thought that would be better. Yeah, as soon as I did that, it would not let me post any ads anymore. So I switched it back to my Gmail address. So that was one of the issues that I had. That took me probably a month to figure that out. And there's also been a few other challenges with these free ad sites. Like, there are hundreds of these sites out there, but some of them can be very, very, very picky, very restrictive in what it is that you can do or post. Some of them won't even let me put in a website, like a clickable website. So that doesn't work, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get people to go to the website to find out more information. So yeah, I was experiencing so much frustration, and my initial mentality was like, okay, the universe is telling me not to post these free ads. That was my initial response. And so I just stopped. And then I decided, or then I kind of sat with it for a while and processed and that, and then it was like, okay. I also did a post in my digital marketing community as well about what was going on, and received the perspective that, some other people have also experienced challenges, but they're like, I'm not going to let this beat me, not to let this beat me down. And she was going to just keep trying, this one particular person. And I was like, okay, let's take the mindset of not working, okay, next, instead of just completely giving up. And also focusing on just not doing so many ads all at the same time, but just finding 3 to 4 sites that I can feel I can be consistent on, that seem to be fairly reliable, and just do like three ads or so, 3 to 4 ads per site. So that way, at least if there is an issue with one site and I have to find another one, then it's just not taking quite as much time. So that's still something that I've been working through, but I have managed to be able to post these ads consistently for, I think, 6 days in a row. So that was a good thing. And the training in the community too is something that I have been challenged with, not the training itself, but committing to the training. The amazing thing about this community is that there is so much training available. There is the pre-recorded training that you have access to, and then there's also weekly live training that happens as well. And then there's also this 90-day strategy, that there's a daily video for 90 days to take you step by step to finding success, basically. And it's on day 45, and right now I'm on day 14 or something of the training. So it's trying to find a process for myself that I can get these posts done on a daily consistent basis, getting these free ads posted on a daily consistent basis, and going through the training on a daily consistent basis. Even if it ends up only being 15 minutes of the training, but just finding that consistency. And I have been feeling like I keep running out of time, because I also want to do self-care stuff and, make food for myself and go for a walk and things like that as well. So, finding that balance for everything. So this is a process I'm still going through, and I think too there's just been a lot of energies moving around in our world as well. There's a lot of energetic shifts that are going on, and I think that this, whether or not you believe in astrological events, astronomical events, and how that can impact you energetically, I really believe that it does, and that this year is a really big year for energetic shifts going on. And if you're somebody who has been experiencing a lot of chaotic kind of emotions or physical discomfort or exhaustion, that type of thing, then you might be impacted by these energies and not even realize it. And I'm taking it as an opportunity to really really observe and notice what is going on. I'm apparently shaking a little bit. I'm getting a little chilled apparently. So I think that means that I will need to end this not too long from now so that I can get back home and warm up a bit. But anyways, there's a lot of these emotional challenges and physical challenges and things that can show up when we have things that are no longer serving us in a healthy way, whether it's our beliefs, our ideas, our mindset, our behavioral patterns and habits and things like that. And some of us might choose to ignore them and just complain and be miserable. And I think that even when we do that, we can still have some growth, but we end up struggling a lot more. We end up finding it harder to deal with our lives when we try to ignore what might actually be going on with us, and allowing ourselves to be able to process, like for example, I've been having a few physical issues going on, and one of the main areas is in my hips, and it's caused me some challenges with walking, even with my sleeping. It's woken me up in the middle of the night. And if you know anything about Louise Hay, she is someone who has done a lot of work, or she did a lot of work, because she's no longer alive, but she did a lot of work with the connection of how what is going on in our physical bodies is connected with what is going on in our mind. And with hip issues, that is connected with basically a fear of moving forward. And I've also had shoulder challenges as well, which is generally connected with burden and feeling like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders, sort of idea. And so I've been kind of working with that over probably the last couple of years, and there has been a lot of improvement in my hips. The shoulders kind of come and go, because I still find that I get stressed pretty easily, but I've noticed in the last week or so that I have felt a lot less attached to outcome. There's been so much fear that has played up, showing up in my life in the last long while, and I have allowed myself to let that fear run me. I became the fear, and it's, you know, when we become our emotions, they end up generally controlling what happens in our life. And we lose the ability to respond to things. And I've been able to get myself to the point where I am much better able to be able to just observe that fear energy. It still shows up, but I'm able to observe it and not become it. But it's still finding a balance between observing it and noticing it, and also giving the space to process it. And I think sometimes moving into the processing part can sometimes lead into that attachment of becoming it. And this week has been a lot of processing for me, but it seems like it was much more balanced, that I was able to allow the emotion to process. I experienced the tears, I experienced some anger energy and that, and then once that subsided, then I was feeling calm again, like more balanced, more stable, more grounded. And I've done a couple of practices that this week that seems to have helped, which was a Kundalini practice and a somatic yoga practice, both which are designed to help move energy. The Kundalini is designed to move energy, and the somatic yoga is meant to help release the emotions that are actually stored in our body. And I've also been consistently doing a yoga nidra practice for the last while, which I think is also helping me. And I found somebody on YouTube as well that does Reiki healing on her channel. And there's a bunch of people on YouTube that do that, and I've tried a couple of them, but I'm just like, I'm not somebody who can feel energy very strongly, so I'm like, I have no idea if this is doing anything or not. But with this lady that I have been watching her Reiki healing videos, it's like I can really sense a loving energy from her. Like, I feel like she has this very strong intention of wanting to help and support others and heal others. And so I'm trusting that, even though I can't necessarily feel the energetic exchange really, that, or whatever it is, that I am getting some benefit from that. So anyways, I feel like I've been kind of rambling on here, and I don't really have like a conclusion for what it was I was been talking about particularly. I guess this is just basically like what my experiences have been for the last little bit. And if you have anything If anything I said interested you, or if you have any questions, or if you want to know more about the program, just let me know in the comments, and I'd be happy to share more information with you.